Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, California Resources Corporation, Kern County Water Agency, Southern California Edison, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, and Panama Buena Vista Union School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
And I'm Chuck. Give us a call if you need help with your math homework. Call us here in Bakersfield at 636-4357. San Luis Obispo and the outlying areas, you can call toll free at 1-866-636-6284. You can email us questions at dothemath@kern.org. You can watch the show live online at dothemathonline.net. And look for us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
All right. Well, you know what? Speaking of all the social media, I know that a lot of time when guests come on, they've got other people that don't live within this viewing area wanting to know if they can watch. Well, that's exactly part of the reason why we have that social media. And then you can always take a look at a program at any point after the live program, because you can always just pull it up, just look for that day, because that way some students call up and they're like, hey, I was working on this type of problem and I forgot how to do it. Well, you can just remember the day that it was called, go back to that day and see how that problem was worked out once again.
And they're archived, or you can go to YouTube and watch them on YouTube. Yeah.
So a lot of different things. Anyway, we have a bunch of very special guests in studio with us this afternoon, but before we get to all of that, let's first take a look at today's Math in the News. All right, today's Math in the News has to do with signage.
Signage, yes.
All right. Now, we'll go ahead and just take a look at this right now. So in Arizona, and you remember, because when you saw this come up, you were like, hey, they were trying to do this as an experiment a while ago.
Right, it was a stretch of freeway that had the signs.
Right, so this is going from Tucson, basically southern Arizona, into Mexico. And this, because the United States is one of only 3 countries that does not use the metric system, okay? So a lot of, kids that are being brought up now see more uses of metric than when we were growing up.
Right.
Because, there wasn't anything basically, medicine,
science,
like
experiments.
But now, students go, well, I want a soda. Well, I want a 2 liter of soda.
Right.
Right, that's how it's labeled, that's how it's
liter
produced
bottles
and things like that. When we were in high school, you would do a race, and it would be, the mile or something like that, right?
Right.
And now it's we'll do a 5K race or a 3K or how many
1,500
meters.
1,500 meters, I think they consider the metric mile.
Right.
It's real close to a mile.
So a lot of students are being brought up kind of with both, but it's still kind of, and then there's still a part of every math book at some level that is converting, between these.
Or if not converting, they'll at least give a problem with metric units, even if they don't have to change it from one to the other.
And the people in southern Arizona like this. They're used to it now. They like it. They would be disappointed if it left.
Because they think in kilometers.
Right. And people from other countries moving there or traveling through there, they have said, oh, it makes us feel like we're at home, because that's what they're used to. So, figure that was the news today. Now, what does this have to do with the math part of it?
Right.
So here we go with some of the prefixes, and a lot of students are, decimeter, centimeter, millimeter, things like that. But you can see how all it is adding or where you're placing that next 10.
Right.
Which is all it is. It's a easier system to learn, let's say.
It is definitely easier to learn, because all you have to remember is 10.
Right. And once again, here's another graph that you can look at to kind of keep track of, all right, which way are we going?
But some people feel overwhelmed with all of the prefixes and think, I'll never be able to learn that. But really, we only have to know a few measurements in terms of length, like millimeters and centimeters and kilometers and meter. I mean, there's about 4 of them.
Right, get your base unit. And
Yeah.
then, as you said, there's only a handful, and that would be it. So what students need to do now is you can take a look with the metric system. Okay, if you look at the difference, there's a difference of 10 as you're going back and forth.
Right.
However, if you look at the system that is used in the United States and 2 other countries in the world, there's a lot of different types of measurements going on here where you're converting, okay, well, do I multiply by 12 now or do I divide by 12? And so basically, there's a difference in the 2 systems, and parts of the United States are not exempt from the metric system. So in Tucson, Arizona, they do have the use of the metric system and proud of it.
One of these days, maybe.
You know what?
We'll change
You
over.
think in our lifetime it'll?
No.
No, I don't think so either. And that is today's Math in the News. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Don't forget, today, the 9th of March, is the almost last day of Do the Math. Because next week, the 15th and 16th, will be the final 2 days of live programming for this season. And once that happens, archived programs, as we were saying, will be available all the time. The programs will be rerun on Bright House Cable throughout the summer and the rest of the school year, but live programming will end next Wednesday. Right now, we'll go back to the phones, and a student from Buena Vista, Adiola, how are you today?
Good.
And you're in 6th grade, correct?
Huh?
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure you're in 6th grade.
Yeah.
As soon as you're ready, let's hear the math problem that you're working on.
Okay, give me a moment.
Okay. Another unit of time that could vary.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm doing good.
So
The
go ahead.
question,
All right, so go ahead and give me the problem.
it says find 4 consecutive even integers whose sum is 244.
4 consecutive even integers whose sum is, I'm sorry, 244 you said?
Yes.
244. All right, so we want 4 consecutive even integers. So we know what even means. What does consecutive mean?
Things that go on back like 1, 2, they're consecutive.
Consecutive, 1, 2, right next to each other. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4 would be consecutive integers, the counting numbers, right?
Yes.
10, 11, 12. But we want consecutive even, so if I started with 2, I wouldn't go 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd go 2,
4, 6, 8.
4, 6, 8. I got to have the even integers, don't we? So I want 4 numbers that add up to 244, and they've got to be even, and they've got to be one right after the other. Well, if they're one right after the other, they're going to be pretty close to each other, aren't they?
Yes.
So let's just see if we can make an educated guess as to what numbers we might want to use. So if these 4 numbers are pretty close to each other, let's just pretend for a minute here to make our first guess. Suppose these were all the same number, right? Suppose they were all, let me just call them x, okay?
Okay.
I don't know what they are, but let's make them all the same just so we can get started, okay? And if I add those 4 numbers up, that would be x plus x plus x plus x, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And we want that to be 244. So what, if I simplify this, what is x plus x plus x plus x?
61.
No, if I just combine those terms, what do I get? How many x's do I have here?
4 X's.
4 x's. So you said 61 because now we're looking for a number that when we multiply by 4, I'm going to get 244, right? And so where did you get 61?
I divided 244 by 4.
So to solve this, we're just going to divide by 4, and we get x equals 61, okay? So now that's not our answer, is it?
No.
But that's where I'm going to start by answering this question. So let's try, right? And let's try, well, I'm not going to try 61, am I? What's wrong with
No.
61?
It's an odd
It's
integer.
an odd integer, and we want even. So let's try a number in here that's close to 61, but is even. Give me a number close to 61 that's even.
60.
60. Let's try 60. So if we start with 60, what are the next 3 consecutive even integers?
62.
62, 64, 66. Let's see how we did here. Let me get rid of all of this. And let's see if we add those 4 numbers together, 60 plus 62 plus 64 plus 66, do we get 244? That's a question mark there.
Well, just make your last 64 is 66.
Up 66, thank
There you go.
66. So let's add those up. Let's see, what is 60 plus 62 plus 64 plus 66? What do we get if we add those up?
I'm doing the math right now.
Okay? So what's the first column?
What's the first column?
Yeah, what's the 2 plus 4 plus 6? What did we get? Let's go ahead and just work this out.
2 plus 4 plus 6 is 12.
So 12, okay, and the last column?
It is. Wait.
Six.
25.
Yeah, 6 and 6 and 6 and 6. We know that's 24 plus 1. That's 25. And so this doesn't equal 244, right? It's 252. We're wrong,
Yeah.
but that's not too far off, is it? We're pretty close, right? From 244 to 252. So these numbers are too big, aren't they?
Yeah.
So how much smaller do we have to make them? How far is it from 252 to 244?
252 to 244. It is about 7.
Let's see, 12 minus 4?
12 minus 4?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's 8.
That's 8. So we're 8, right? So
Yeah.
we're pretty close. So we don't have to make them too much bigger. In fact, since we have 4 numbers, it looks like if we make each one of those numbers 2 smaller, right? Make this one 2 smaller. Let's do that. If I make this one 2 smaller, that's going to be, well, let's start here at the beginning. If I make this smaller by 2, and this one smaller by 2, am I still consecutive? 58 and
Yes.
60, and make this one 2 smaller, that's 62. And this one 2 smaller, that's 64. Does that equal 244?
Yes.
It should, because we sort of made it that way, didn't we? Let's see if
Yes.
it works, right? That's 58 plus 60 plus 62 plus 64. There's my 4 numbers. And let's see, 8 and 2, that's 10 and 4, that's 14, right?
Yes.
And we got 5 and 1 is 6, and 6 and 6 and 6, that is 24, isn't it? So
Yes.
it looks like our first guess was wrong, but pretty close, and our second guess, we hit right on it, didn't we? So let's
Yeah.
see, the question was, what are the 4 consecutive integers? And there they are, right there, aren't they? We know that this one didn't work, but our second guess, which was pretty good, well, we didn't guess, our second choice was 58, 60, 62, and 64, and that added up to 244, and that was our answer, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, great question. Thanks for calling.
All right, nice problem right there, Adiola. If you're still online, I'll let you know right now that you've got yourself a free meal courtesy of our friends at Johnny Rockets. So congratulations on that. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30, and we'll get into the phone tutors a little bit. But right now, in studio with us right now, we've got Lauren from the Bakersfield Condors. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm wonderful myself. And I would have to say, Chuck, is this the first time we've had a mascot on
I
There.
believe so.
It might be the first time we've had a mascot. Lauren, who have you got with you here?
This is Baby Cal. He is one of our mascots at the Condors.
So one of the mascots, how many mascots do the Condors have?
We have 3.
3. So Colonel Claude,
Yep.
Baby Cal,
And our newest mascot, which is Riggs.
Riggs. All right, so that's the new one.
Yes.
I've yet to, I don't think I've seen, I'm sure on the commercials or something like that I've seen Riggs.
Right.
I know Baby Cal. How can this possibly be that I haven't seen Riggs? But these things happen.
I'm sorry,
Lauren-
Riggs is also a condor?
No.
What is Riggs?
How would you classify Riggs?
He's a superhero oil drop.
A superhero oil drop.
He's a sight to see.
All right, an oil drop. How can...
So something for you to take a look. Well, they're associated with the Edmonton Oilers now.
Absolutely.
All right. So Lauren, what is your title with the Bakersfield Condors?
I'm the Community Relations and Fundraising Manager.
Which is exactly why you're here for community relations.
Right.
So how long have you been with the team?
This is my first season, so I started in October.
Okay. And it's been going pretty well because you're still here.
That's true, yeah. Hopefully
Okay.
I'll be on for a couple more seasons.
All right. What are some of the big events that you guys have done so far this season?
This season has been pretty big because it's our inaugural year in the AHL.
Right.
So that's big in itself. And this year we've done Teddy Bear Toss, which has been huge for us. We had our Tiba Condor fundraiser, which has been really big. It just passed last week on the 29th. So
Tipa Condor, so is that where the Condor players are serving food? Is that what it is? And where does that usually take, or is it different all the time?
this year it was at the Petroleum Club of Bakersfield.
Why not the Petroleum Club,
Yes,
right?
there
Okay.
you go.
It was really fun. The players, they get your drink order, they bring you your food, they serve you, they do the whole 9 yards. So
Okay. And what are some things, because the season's coming up, I mean, close to an end, mid-April, and then the playoffs will start. So some things that some students can look forward to from this point to the end of the regular season.
well, coming up we have our hockey-thon as well. So we're setting a day for that, and so we'll have our annual hockey-thon. We also have coming up on March 12th is $5 youth jersey night.
Okay.
So bring $5 and you can get a youth jersey. It'll be Ryan Hamilton's jersey.
And is it one, or you can buy as many as you'd like?
You can buy 2 per ticket.
Okay, so 2 per ticket, because I know when you had the, what was it, the caps or hats or something?
That was 4 per ticket.
Okay, that's because I remember my son coming home with 4, and I was like, "Why, you get 4 hats?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Merry Christmas." So, how do you apply in community relations and what you do? How do you apply math in what you do? Maybe not every day, but things you have to think about as far as math goes.
Yeah, well, I do use it every day. One of the main things I do is fundraisers. So during fundraisers, I have to give out consignment tickets. I have to keep track of how many tickets I've given out. And the organization will get $3 or $5 back per ticket. So once the fundraiser's over, I have to make sure to cut the right amount for the check and
Right.
keep track of all those numbers. When I'm doing donations, I have to keep track of how many tickets to give out, the price of each basket, and things like that.
Well, I know donations because you guys have been supporters of Do the Math for a very long time now. And the biggest thing that we do every single day is all of the students that phone in have an opportunity to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Bakersfield Condors. And the kids, when they win them, go absolutely crazy. I mean, when they're, we're live on a shot. But these are the tickets now that we give the students. And whose idea was it to make something like this? Because this is outstanding where you can get somebody, something this large.
I know, they're really cool, right? They're new this year. We just want to make them bigger and better because we put them in a whole basket. So it's fun, it looks a little bit nicer, and you won't lose that.
Yeah, you definitely won't lose that. I mean, you've got to go through a lot of effort to lose that right there.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I know that mascots are usually seen and not heard.
Right.
Okay, and I know that Baby Cal and the other mascots are quite entertaining during the games and at events where you guys go out and things like that. And I know that Baby Cal's kind of getting anxious back here doing some weird things behind you. Do you mind if I deal
sure.
with Baby Cal for a minute? Baby Cal, it's time for you to go to work. Chuck, off to the side there. We're going to make
right.
the Baby Cal Condor do a math problem now. So Chuck, if you might want to grab a pen for...
Yeah, you grab that?
All right, so Baby Cal, here we go. 3, and then open parentheses. Inside the parentheses, x plus 1. Close parentheses is equal to 2. Open parentheses, x plus 5. And if you would go ahead and solve for X, and Chuck, maybe you can kind of narrate what's going on since we won't be able to hear Baby Cal.
Okay, so it looks like Baby Cal is removing the parentheses by using what everybody knows is the distributive property, right? So we got to simplify this, and that's our first step. So we got to multiply everything inside the parentheses by 3 on the left side, and everything inside the parentheses by 2 on the other side. So 3x plus 3 equals 2x plus 5, or 15, thank you, I didn't see that. Oh, I'm sorry, 10, got it. 2x plus 10. All right, now we're going to get all of the numbers on one side, get rid of that 3 by subtracting 3 from both sides. So we get 3x equals 2x, and let's see, we do that subtraction, 10 minus 3, and we get 7. Here, turn it around, and we can just erase it like, there you go. All right, and now we got to get all of the x's together, so we'll subtract 2x from both sides. So we get 3x minus 2x is 1x, and so that means x equals 7, and that looks like it should be our answer.
There you go,
Great
nicely
job.
done. Baby Cal, I've never seen a mascot solve a problem easier than that one right there.
Perfect.
Lauren, come on over again, really, because this is your first year with the Condors. Have you been in Bakersfield? I mean, are you from California, from Bakersfield?
No, I'm actually from Seattle.
Okay.
So I came down to Bakersfield to swim at California State University, Bakersfield.
All right.
And then I liked Bakersfield so much I stayed.
Well, there you go. Now you're working for the Condors, great organization. We certainly do appreciate the support that the Condors have given us. And you were wondering if anybody in Missouri could view the program. Would you like to just send out a quick hello to whoever was in Missouri there?
Yeah, my dad. He's
There you
in
go. You gotta
Missouri,
say hi to
so
Dad, right?
Of course, right? So hi to my dad, Joe.
All right, nicely done. Lauren, thank you for coming in. Baby Cal, nicely done on the math problem right there.
All right.
We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. We'll be back with more right after this.
What I'm going to do is show you the cockpit. This is the fun part of the airplane as far as I'm concerned as a pilot. This is a huge flight computer. The engines are all based on numbers and things like that. So let me turn on some of the stuff to give you a little example of.
Okay.
And what you're going to start seeing is you're going to start seeing a lot of numbers and you're going to start seeing a lot of information. And all this information is giving me input to be able to fly this airplane. And what's so amazing about this system is that this airplane can pretty much fly itself. It's just a matter of programming and telling the airplane exactly what it is I want it to do. We put the numbers in for takeoff weights, and it tells us exactly how long the runway has to be. It tells us what power settings we have to set in the engines. It tells you what time we need to rotate the airplane at what speed, and it tells you what speed we'll be climbing at to get the max performance. And these are all flight instruments here. These are engine instruments here. This is a fuel gauge here. We have weather radar here for looking for thunderstorms, rain, snow, things like that. Lighting system here. These are the engine controls here for the power. With these two throttles full forward, we're producing over 8,200 pounds of thrust for takeoff. This particular airplane can go from a dead stop and rotate at about 140 miles an hour in less than 3,500 feet.
That's fast.
That's fast, and you can feel it, and that's the exciting part about flying this particular airplane. Down here we have two navigational systems that work independently and together. They're both called universal navigation. They all run off GPS navigation off the satellites.
Now, why are there two?
One is a backup, and they're always comparing the information. And if the information all of a sudden changes, something's going wrong in one of the units, it notifies us that, hey, you really want to watch this because things aren't jiving here.
Okay.
So everything you'll find in an airplane, there's not one system in this airplane that stands alone.
Two.
There's two systems that always have a backup. Two engines, you know. These both do exactly the same thing, you know. So if one fails, I have the ability to be able to switch these displays from one unit to another unit. Let's say this fails. So I can take this information, I can put it over on that
Transfer it
screen.
over.
That's right.
Okay.
So we have the capability of being able to do that. Here's the annunciator panel here. This tells us all kinds of different things about the systems, what's working, if there's any issues with engines. Both engines are off right now, so we have all the warning signs for the left engine and for the right engine. And so this is my office. This is where I work. And this is the most fun there is
And
in
as long as
aviation.
you're not claustrophobic or afraid of heights,
Well, you know,
this could be great.
and I think, you know, when you first get in the airplane, you're overwhelmed by what you see.
Right, I think because a lot of students or a lot of kids will be looking at this going, all right, there's a lot of things going
Yeah.
on here. What exactly do I need to look at first? What's the most important?
And-
So how long does it take? Let's say you've got a student, they just graduated high school.
Okay.
And they're looking into a career in aviation. An idea of how long it would take to understand what's going on here.
You know, it's a process. It's just like learning to walk. You know, you crawl before you walk, and then you walk before you run, and you run before you become a marathoner, right? So it's the same thing in aviation. What you do is you start studying and learning about the things we discussed, ailerons, elevators, wings, things like that. Then you learn about how an airplane flies. And then once you get that down, then you move on to navigation. You move on to communication. And then once you understand it all and you're flying a small airplane, then you start getting experience of actually going out and doing it, flying in the weather, shooting approaches. When I say that, you come down through the clouds and you don't see anything, you pop out of the clouds and guess what? There's your airport. And that's kind of some of the most fun things about flying, is being able to do that and make this airplane perform to those standards.
And it does allow a person a sense of freedom
Oh, yeah.
that you can't experience.
I'm going to tell you something. When
otherwise.
you're in this airplane and you're sitting up here, which is the best view in the house, at 41,000 feet, and you're looking down at the world, you just ask yourself, they actually pay me to do this? This is so much fun.
Hey, you know, we tell the students that all the time. If you can find a career where you enjoy it and
Yeah.
you're like, I love this and I'm actually getting paid to do it,
That's right.
you have found your spot.
And I'm going to tell you, aviation is a wonderful career. I would recommend for your students to look hard at aviation. You know, not only flying airplanes, but working on airplanes and fueling airplanes. And, you know, anything to do in aviation is a very romantic, very exciting business. You ask yourself, okay, we're flying along at 43,000 feet. Well, the air is pretty thin up at 43,000 feet. How do we breathe? It's based on pressurization.
And once again, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Well, we had our first mascot do a math problem on Do the Math. And I think the youngest guest that we have had on air in the past 14 years has been a second grader. But now we are reaching new heights, or heights we'll say, with our next guest. Mary Lou is in studio with us right now. And Mary Lou, who have you brought along with you today?
I have brought my granddaughter, Isley Rose.
All right, Isley, how are you today?
Good.
And you are how old?
5.
You're 5 years old. Are you in school yet?
Yes.
Where do you go to school?
5 Mile Montessori.
All right, so you're in, I guess, is it kindergarten? Is that what it is? All right.
Kindergarten.
How's kindergarten going so far?
Good.
Well, that's good. I'm glad it is because you've got a couple more years of schooling to go here, all right? At least 12, I'm sure of that. What kinds of things do you like about going to school?
I like that we have a big school and a playground.
All right, and do you do any math while you're at school?
Yes.
What kind of math do you do?
Pluses and takeaways.
So pluses and takeaways. Do you know any pluses or takeaways that you can share with us right now?
Yes.
What?
5 plus 5 equals 10. 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Nicely done right there. So those are 2 pluses. Do you know any takeaways right now that you can think of?
10 take away 2 is 8.
Excellent. What's 10 take away 10?
0.
There you go. All right, so I put you on the spot and you did nice with that right there. Do you have anything that you're looking forward to once you're all through with school?
No.
Okay, well, you know what? You've got a couple years, so you don't have to worry about that right now. Mary Lou, I know you're in here just a little while on your day off, so thank you for bringing in the young lady.
Well, thank you.
And we also have another very special guest in studio. I have been told this is the smartest 6th grader in all of Kern County. We've got Sia in studio with us right now today. You are the smartest 6th grader?
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know. Okay, well, you know what? I know you are a very bright sixth grader, but we're going to get to you and make you do some problems here in a couple of moments. First, we're going to put Chuck up on the board right now. I'm going to give you 4 fractions.
4 fractions.
So the first one is 3/6,
3/6,
5/15,
5/15,
8/12,
8/12,
and 9/12.
9/12.
And those are 4 areas, and I'm going to give you a bunch of other fractions, and we need to find out how they match up as far as being equivalent with those 4.
Okay, so we're going to have some fractions over here that we're going to compare to these 4 over here.
And see how they would
Okay, so
match
let me
up.
just separate these so we have 4 separate fractions over there. Okay,
All right, so the first one, 6/8.
6/8.
Next one, 4/8.
Right,
6/9.
6/9,
16/32.
16/32,
21/28. 12/18. 6/12. And finally, 6/18. Now, before you go ahead and get started on that, I'd like to find out from Isley if she knows what's going on with these. Do those numbers look familiar?
No.
No. Well, you know what? You're going to get that next year in first grade, I'm sure about that. Anyway, Chuck, we'll let you work on those while we let the ladies hit the road right now.
Okay, so we want to compare these fractions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fractions to these 4 fractions that we have over here. So let's keep these separate. And the easiest way to do that is trying to get them all at the same level. And to do that, what we want to do is make sure we have them at the level that it would be the lowest terms. In other words, let's reduce these to lowest terms. So I'm going to take 3/6, 5/15, 8/12, and 9/12 and reduce them, and then I'll do it to the same thing to these fractions, and then be much easier to compare them. Right? So let's take 3/6. If I take 3/6 and divide top and bottom by 3, I'm going to get 1/3. So I'm just going to rewrite these fractions down here, and then we'll do all of these. I'm going to take 5/15 and divide top and bottom by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 15 divided by 5 is 2. So that's also 1/3. I'll take 8/12, and let's see, I can divide top and bottom here by 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. And I'll do the same thing here. 9/12, I'll divide top and bottom by 3, and I get 3 on top, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I get 1/3. Did I get 1/3? I divided by 3 here, didn't I? So I got 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 should be 2.
1/2.
So this is going to be 1/2. So let's make sure we have these, right? So we have 4 different fractions: 1/2, 1/3, 2/3, and 3/4. Now I'm going to compare these. So to compare them, let's get them at the same level. Let's reduce these. If I reduce 6/4, let's see, is it one of those 4? So if I divide top and bottom by 2, right? 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So that's going to check. So I don't know how we want to determine if they're the same, but I know that this is the same as this one, right? 4/8, what's that going to equal? That's going to be 1/2. So 4/8 and 3/6 are the same, so they are equal. Let's see, 6/9, I'll divide by 3, so I'm going to get 2/3. And so 6/9 looks like it's going to be the same as 8/12. 16/32, let's see, I could divide by 2, but I can also divide by 4. I could also divide by 8, or I can divide top and bottom by 16. And so in one step, I can reduce this to lowest terms, and I get 1/2. So I know 16/32 is going to be the same as 3/6 also. 21/28, let's see, what goes into 21 and 28? 21 is 3 times 7, so I know 3 goes into it, 7 goes into it. 3 doesn't go into 28, but 7 does. So if I divide top and bottom by 7, looks like I'm going to get 3/4, which is going to be the same as 9/12. 12/18, I'll divide top and bottom by, well, I could do 2, I could do 3, but I could do 6. So 12 divided by 6 is 2. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So 12 eighteenths is 2/3. So that's going to be the same as 8 twelfths. 6 twelfths, let's see, divide by 2, that works. Divide by 3, that works. But 6 also works. I'm going to divide top and bottom by 6. I get 1/2. So 6 twelfths is the same as 3/6. And finally, 6 eighteenths, divide top and bottom by 2, by 3, by 6 again, right? And I get 1/3. So 6 eighteenths is the same as 1/3. That's the same as 5/15. So I can match up each one of these 8 fractions with one of these 4 fractions if I just reduce all of my fractions to begin with.
All right,
There's no
nicely
problem.
done. Thank you for that. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Toll free, that number is 1-866-636-6284, just in case you're calling from San Luis Obispo County. And if you do, and we do your math problem on air, you'll automatically win yourself some ice cream, courtesy of our friends at Doc Bernstein's Ice Cream Lab. As promised, a very bright 6th grade student. We'll put it that way instead of the smartest 6th grade student. How's that?
Okay.
All right. In studio, we have Cian. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Why don't you let everybody know where you go to school? And we already know you're a 6th grader, so where do you go to school?
I go to school at Buena Vista.
So you're a bulldog? Mm-hmm. All right. And how's things at Buena Vista?
Pretty good.
Pretty good? Have you been there for a while? Mm-hmm. So how long? Since kindergarten?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you've been there for a long time. Mm-hmm. So this is your last couple of weeks at the school that you've been at for 7 years.
Uh-huh.
So you're getting ready to go to junior high. And do you know what junior high you'll be going to yet?
I'm going to Warren.
So you're going to Warren, all right? And do you have any expectations, things you're looking forward to when you go to 7th grade?
Looking forward to spending time with my sister and my old friends in 7th grade now.
Oh, so you've got friends that are already at the junior high. Mm-hmm. All right, well, you know, it's going to make the transition a lot easier over there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let me ask you, because not every school goes to Camp Keep. Does your school go to Camp Keep?
I already went.
You already went. What was, if somebody said, I don't know if I want to go to Camp Keep, I'm kind of nervous about leaving, it's going to be my first time away from home for a week, what is the one thing that you would tell somebody about Camp Keep that, like, this is the best thing about it?
There's a lot of things the teachers for first, and you get to spend time with friends, and the food there is good.
So you like the food?
Yeah.
That's important. You're going to be over there for a whole week. All right, you know what? We're going to have you do some math problems. We'll have Chuck erase the board. And we're going to have, I know that you said you're working on these ones for your homework, but I'm going to make you do one that you were just working on because you had to do it a couple of times.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is you finally figured it out. But let's go ahead and put it up on the board first. All right, so go ahead and write it up on the board. I'll read it to you. So start way over on the left. So we're going to go 5, open parentheses, x plus 2, close parentheses, minus 3, open parentheses, x minus 1, close parentheses is equal to negative 27. Now, what I'd like you to do, see, is as you're going through this, explain what you're doing, but then I want you to, at points where you think it might be good, how somebody might get messed up along this. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
All right, perfect.
Okay, so first I'm going to multiply and get rid of the parentheses, so 5 times x is 5x, 5 times 2 is positive 10, and then negative 3 times x is negative 3x, and negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3, which equals negative 27. And then I'm going to combine the like terms, underline the x's, and circle the positive numbers, and it's 2x and plus 13 equals negative 27. And then you subtract 13 from both sides.
Okay, let me move it down for you so you have a little bit more room here. There
Okay.
you go.
Well, first of all, you could subtract wrong. That's one mistake people could do. And it's not subtracting, it's adding. And 7 plus 3 is 10, and 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 4.
Now, I'd like you to say that again, see, because that was key in what you just said. So explain that again one more time.
What do you mean?
Well, because you said we're
it's not
subtracting.
subtracting, it's adding. Why is it adding? It looks like subtracting.
Because it's two negatives, and when it's two negatives, you have to combine the like terms.
Signs are
and
the
add.
same, aren't they?
Uh-huh.
Right.
And it's 40, and another mistake you can make is forget to put the negative sign and bring
Because
it down.
two negatives don't make a positive when you add,
Yeah,
do
they make a negative, and so that equals 2x, and you divide that by 2,
Hit one more time. Here we go.
and x equals 40 divided by 2. Negative 40 divided by 2 is negative 20.
Nicely done. So I like how you explained how somebody could subtract and maybe see the 27 and 13 and go 14, right? And then they get 2x is equal to 14. They could get 7, right? They could possibly even say maybe negative 7 if they put the negative on the 14. But nicely done and nicely explained as well. So come on back over here.
Is it negative? Okay.
We'll let Chuck clear that board up so we can get ready for another math problem. So 6th grade, you're just about through with that. What has been one of the best things about 6th grade so far this year?
Can't keep.
Camp Key. Well, you know what? That's good because every kid says that. The best thing about 6th grade is Camp Key. Is there anything that you would change about your elementary school years?
Nothing really. I liked it.
So everything's been going along pretty smooth? All right. You know what? I know you're an excellent student, so I'm going to make you do a harder problem this time. All right? Back up to the board. So you can just write down any information that you think is going to be important. Okay? A hardcover book sells for $16.50.
$16.50 hardcover.
Okay? The paperback version sells for $4.95.
Okay.
How many hardcover books must a dealer sell to take in as much as he does for 30 paperback copies? So you're going to sell 30 paperback copies, and we need to know how many hardcover books you need to sell to take in as much as the paperbacks. So how would you like to work on that problem? If you need help, Chuck's right there with you.
So I'm thinking to start by multiplying 495 by 30. And 28, 14, okay. 8, 4. That's right?
Looks like
Okay.
it.
And can you scroll down, please?
Mhm.
Okay. And I'm gonna.
All right, so now the question is, how much did those 30 paperback books cost? So
For-
you kept things nice and lined up so you could add correctly there,
And so
right?
for 30, it's $148.50 for 30 paperback copies.
Okay.
And so divide that amount by 1650, the amount for each hardcover book. So 1650. Okay. Now bring the decimal twice. And so 1,650 going into 14,850
So let me ask you before we go on, where's the decimal going to go on your answer then?
right here.
So it's right there, so let's go ahead and put it up in the answer right now so we know exactly where it's going to go. There you go.
Okay, now I have to find out how many times this number goes in that number. So maybe 3.
Yeah, some big numbers, right? So how can you make a guess how many you think it would be?
I'm thinking 3 maybe.
Well, here's the thing that you might want to try because you could try a lot of numbers and it
Yes.
can take a long time. Think about 10. If you take 1650 and add a 0 to it, you're going to have 16,500, which is close to 14,850. So we know 10's a little high. So it's going to be pretty close to 10, but not as high as 10. So what would you like to try then?
To get to 14,850, maybe 7?
I'll let you try 7. Try that.
Okay.
Would you like some help?
No. I think I'm fine.
1650 times, you said 7. That's a good first guess. Let's see.
So I'll just let you know what that answer is.
Okay.
11,550.
Too low. Okay, what about, is there another way to erase this?
Well, if you just want to do, you're going to leave the 16. Yeah, just do that
Okay.
and leave that. Okay, so do you think you were pretty close?
Sort of.
So it's a little low, but close. So what do you want to try next?
9.
So 9?
Okay. Oops. 5, 4.
Good guess. So 7, you were pretty close. And instead of guessing 8, you guessed 9 because that was pretty close to 10. And you hit it right on, didn't you?
Uh-huh. So it goes in 9 times. So, since we already know it goes in evenly, you don't have to do the work.
Right, you did this work right down there, didn't you?
Yeah. So you could get 9. So 9 hardcover copies to get 30. That's equal to 30 paperback copies.
There you go.
So you know that this amount of money is equal to that amount of money, and that's what you're trying to do.
Nicely done right there. Come on over here, young lady. Do you know how long we have phone tutors here until?
3:30 to 5:30.
3:30 to 5:30. And do you know the phone number you can let everybody know to call in case they need help?
Not exactly.
It's right on the top line. Read that one for us.
636-4357.
And we'll be back with more right after this.
It's basically 135,000 students and counting that we have dressed.
I am so excited when I talk about Ruth Ann Montgomery. She started a clothes closet to help children because she realized every community has the problem with kids not having clothes to wear.
She started in a garage, and now we have this beautiful warehouse full of clothes.
The children who come here walk away with basically 2 complete outfits, a card to buy shoes at Payless Shoe Store, and we basically dress students who are from kindergarten through 6th grade.
My name is Jerry, and I'm going to help you get a bag of clothes today.
We will make sure that each student leaves this facility with a bag full of brand new school clothes. We have arrangements with over 20 school districts in Kern County, and they are the ones who will refer students from their schools to come to Operation School Bell.
Do you guys do this every year?
Every year we do this. Have you been here before?
No.
No, this is your first year?
Operation School Bell has been a godsend to us, as it is Arvin is an underserved part of the community in Kern County. The Operation School Bell has done so much for our families where they are giving clothes that our families sometimes cannot buy for them. When we tell them that they're going to get uniforms, they're excited. Oh, we're going to get uniforms. They start jumping up, and I mean, they're just excited. It's kind of almost going to Disneyland.
We call it our in-store dressing, where the children come to Target and they get to pick out what they want to wear.
These are the children that don't wear uniforms.
Mommy, this is me.
They get to get the cute little leggings or the bright colored shirts or, the things that all the children wear these days.
You know they can have shoes as well. We're meeting the needs of more of the children with dressing at Target.
This is a very exciting time for them because they will come back to school, they'll have some different sets of clothes, and they're going to feel comfortable about being at school and feel like they just fit in with everybody else. They're going to be learning more, they're going to be participating in school more. We appreciate both Target and the Assistance League for reaching out to our students and our families.
It warms your heart just to see kids kind of, oh, I get my own toothbrush and my own toothpaste. When that first kid that ever said that to me, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're sharing toothbrushes. They don't have to do that. They don't have to share their clothes.
I know it feels a little bit big now, but you're gonna grow. It is gonna last more. See, you're smart. I love working with these kids. They're so excited to have these clothes and to be able to have this opportunity to have their own things that really belong to them. You want to be the quarterback? I think you should be the quarterback too. Being part of our community is very important to us. So here in Bakersfield, we all take our time when we're not at work volunteering in different organizations, and this is one of the best ones that we have.
I'm just grateful for the people in the community who give to us so that we can do what we're doing here.
Oh, I think that's better. How's that feel?
Everything to support our philanthropic programs comes from the community.
Our bargain box, which is our thrift store, is our main fundraiser, and the community donates all the items that are in our bargain box. Last year alone, we made over $245,000, and almost all of that went to buying the new clothes for the children.
The Assistance League has been doing this for 60 years. We have participated for a number of those years out in Buttonwillow, and it's a very solid relationship that's built on recognizing needs and then being able to meet those needs.
It's great. No, they when they get their clothes, they're all with their bags in their hands, and they're like, okay, they don't even want to let them go.
Well, I didn't know if it'd ever last. Seeing it be so successful and helping the kids, that was my goal. I must say it has turned out a lot better than I ever thought it would.
And once again, as we get ready to wrap up the live program today, we have Sia from Buena Vista in studio with us. And I think we've got time for you to work on one more problem. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, back to the board with you, young lady. Mackenzie bought a picture frame on sale for $4.69. A week later, she bought another frame, but she had to pay the regular price for the second one. If the two frames cost $10.64 together, how much was the first one reduced?
Okay, so I'm thinking $10.64 minus $4.69, and that is what else here? 1, 2. Wait, no.
So subtracting, what do you do with the decimal?
You just bring it straight down, right?
Straight down, right?
It's far back. I can't remember. Okay, so $5.95.
So what's the $5.95?
The price of the regular book.
Okay, and what was the question, Mr. Kershine?
By how much was the first one reduced from the regular price?
Okay, so
this is the regular price, and this is how much that it was on sale. So how much was it reduced? So what do you have to do to find out how much was it reduced from regular price to the sale price? What operation are you going to do?
Dividing?
Well, let's see, we just want to reduce it, don't we? So we want to lower the price from the regular price, so we're just going to reduce it by subtracting. So let's see what the difference is between those two prices.
26 cents.
So this is a good problem because a lot of times the students would just give the price of the
Right.
of the regular price of the book and not answer the question, which was the reduction in price.
Exactly. So nicely done right there.
$1.26.
Excellent work, because that's exactly why I wanted you to do that problem. Because a lot of students will, I mean, more than half will put $5.95 as their answer.
Which
Just-
is correctly doing the problem.
Which
but
is how
just-
much it costs
but
normally.
Just stopping too soon, right?
Right. So see, you come on back over here. We're going to have you guys work on a problem right now. This is one where the two of you are going to work together. I'm
Okay.
going to give you 3 numbers. You then will state 3 numbers and tell me the rule that you think I'm doing. All right? So my 3 numbers are 2. So you tell me the next 3 numbers, or any 3 numbers you want that you think follow my rule.
Okay.
Make sense? 2, 4, 8. So talk about it amongst yourselves there and see what
So
you'd like to
from
come up
2
with.
to 4. And
So if you
from
want
4
to, you can
8.
write them down. 2, 4, 8. Those are my numbers.
Okay, so let's write down 2, 4.
So I'd like you to say 3 numbers and explain what rule you think I'm doing. And I'll tell you if you give me 3 numbers, and I'll let you know if it follows my rule or not. I'll simply say yes or no.
Okay, so let's see. What do we have to do to 2 to get 4, and from 4 to get 8?
Add 2 and add 4.
So if we added 2 here and added 4 there, so let's see. You said any numbers?
Right. I want you to find numbers that are not going to follow my rule and figure out why. So come up with 3 numbers, and I'll let you know if they follow my rule.
Oh, okay. Well, give me 3 numbers. Let's start with 3.
3.
And then you
6,
said add 2?
Add 2.
So that's 5. And add,
4.
and
9.
you got 9. 3, 5, and 9.
That follows my rule. I would like you to find 3 numbers that do not follow my rule.
So, but I didn't know we had the rule. Okay, so what if we started with 4? Let's see. How about 4, 6, and 8?
That follows my rule. Find 3 numbers that do not follow my rule.
Wait a minute. That doesn't look like the rule. We added 2 and added 2.
But it does follow my rule.
Oh, he's got a
You need
strange
to
rule
find
over
3
here.
numbers that do not follow my rule.
Let's see. What do we know about those 3 numbers?
They're even.
They're even. They're all even, but these numbers aren't even, are they? But they're all odd, aren't they?
Yeah.
And these are all even. So let's try odd and even. So how about numbers that don't follow this rule? What if we did 4, 6, and 9?
That follows my rule.
Well, we got 2 even and an odd, so that didn't work. Let's see, what else do those numbers all have
I'll
in
give you
common?
one more shot at this.
Okay, I have a clue. They're all 1-digit numbers. So what if we tried 4, 6, and 10?
Follows my rule. All right, you give
Oh,
up?
I got one more
One
try.
more.
4, 7, and 10.
Follows my rule.
Okay.
All right, here it is. They're all in ascending order.
Ascending order. Okay.
That's all it
Very
is. So give me 3 that don't work.
4, 7, and 3.
There you go. That doesn't work. All
about
right,
that?
nicely done. See you.
Okay.
Come on over here. Do remember we have phone tutors available until 5:30. You are our newest ambassador for Do the Math. You need to tell everybody about Do the Math. Can you do that?
Yeah.
All right. And until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, California Resources Corporation, Kern County Water Agency, Southern California Edison, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, and Panama Buena Vista Union School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.